One of the most common scenarios
and we're going to be talking about the Cairo.
You're going to get drunk that way? By all means do it.
Safety first, motherfucker. Hey everyone, this is CJ coming at you again with another Firearms Friday. Today I want to talk a little bit about sighting in an MOA Optic. MOA equals 1 minute of angle, which is 1 inch at 100 yards. Now regardless if you're wasting money, conducting an ammo test, or just want a competition shoot, you need to accurately put rounds down range, otherwise it's just not safe. When should you sight in a rifle? Now, this is a very good question. You need to sight in a rifle every time a scope is installed onto the rifle, whether it's a new scope, an old scope, or one that you've had on there before. I say scope, but I really mean optic, or any device that really helps you aim. You also need to sight in your rifle every time a new muzzle device is installed, whether it be a flash hider, a muzzle brake, or suppressor. Yes, screwing with your muzzle actually off-puts your point of impact. If you're shooting long range, you need to sight in your rifle every time you input new ammunition or just different kinds of ammunition. Firstly, let's talk a little bit about gear. Obviously, you're going to need a little bit more quality gear for this. And most importantly, you're going to need a scope or some kind of optic. Plan to spend at least a few $100s on a quality optic. Don't go to a gun show looking for a budget optic. They're shit. If you come across a $70 2x magnification, different reticle, multicolor with iron sights on top, stay away. There's a reason why it's $70. Regardless of what the salesman or woman says, their job is to sell you something. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Do your research. Get a name brand optic, one with reliable travel in the turrets. Don't know what a reliable optic is? Here's a small list. There's a million things to say about optics, but that's going to come in a different video. Remember, an optic is a necessity, not an accessory. Next, you're going to need a spotting scope. Again, you can make a name brand or even a budget optic. Budget optics are good for initial sight-ins. They're not good for long-range shot calls. This helps whomever you're shooting with call your shots, and it prevents you from calling a ceasefire every few minutes to go down range. You don't want to piss off your fellow shooters. If you don't have one, fire 3 shots, wait several minutes, then ask to go down range and call your shots. You're going to need a tripod, which provides something for your spotting scope to sit on. It's recommended you get a sturdy one that won't shake in the wind. Obviously, you're going to need some ammunition. If this is your first time or you're just newer to the prospect of sighting in a rifle, bring a lot of it. You might need it. You're going to need a lead sled or a bipod. This helps steady the rifle for follow-on shots. The more consistent you are in firing, the more accurate you're going to be. Targets. Obviously, you're going to need something to shoot at. Bring a target stand and a way to mount the targets, or do your research on where you're going to shoot if you need to provide them yourself or not. I recommend the 100-yard sight-in target. It's about 14 inches square with a total target area of about 12 inches. It's laid out in a square inch grid pattern and tells you exactly what you need to do. Now before you can start shooting, you need to find out what kind of scope you have in terms of travel, whether it's a half MOA, quarter MOA, eighth MOA, or mil dot. Again, this tutorial is all about the MOA, so if you're shooting mil dot, I'll get to you a little bit later. If you don't know what it is, your turrets will tell you. If they don't, look in the owner's manual, research it online, or get in touch with the company. If you can't find anything, chances are you need to get a different scope. For this tutorial, my scope that I'm using is a half MOA, which means that for every click, the point of impact will move 1/2 inch at 100 yards. When you get to the range, set your target at 100 yards. There should be a little line out there for you to reference, or you can even use a laser rangefinder for more accuracy. Put your rifle in the lead sled or set up on the bipod, load your rifle, fire 3 shots. 3 shots is commonly done with AR platforms, other semi-automatic rifles, or more combat-type firearms. Adjust from the center of your grouping. Draw an imaginary triangle, move that to your point of aim. Remember, the arrows on your turrets point toward which way your impact will move when you adjust. If you're shooting left, don't move your turret arrows to the left because you'll be shooting even further to the left on all your follow-on shots. Do not make any adjustments until you send your 3rd round downrange. You also have the ability to fire 1 shot. This is commonly done in more accurate firearms like precision rifles, hunting rifles, or lever guns. Essentially, these are all rifles that allow you to control the cycle of the bolt. Depending on your rifle and how confident you are, you can adjust off 1 shot. Personally, I still fire 3 as sometimes the first one doesn't group as closely to the next 2. So let's go ahead and test your knowledge a little bit. Let's say at 100 yards, I'm aiming at the bullseye of my target. I fire 3 shots, here, here, and here. How do I adjust? If you said 4.5 inches down and 4.5 inches right, you're correct. To make the adjustments on my scope, I'm going to move my top turret, which is elevation, clockwise, 9 clicks. Next, I'm going to move my side turret, which is windage, counterclockwise, 9 clicks. Say my center point of aim is still the bullseye. I fire 3 shots, here, here, and here. How do I adjust? If you said 4.5 inches up and 4.5 inches left, you're correct. To make these adjustments, I move my elevation counterclockwise 9 clicks and move my windage clockwise 9 clicks. Alright everyone, thanks for sticking with me through yet another Firearms Friday. I know this was a pretty quick and pretty specific guide on how to sight in a rifle, but I hope I was able to help. If you have any questions on anything that you've seen today, please comment. If you have any suggestions on anything you'd like to see in future Firearms Fridays, again, please comment. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, train safe, train right, train hard.